Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing something that has been highly requested on the channel so far, and that is an everyday makeup look. So I've had a couple comments now asking if I would be able to just share with you guys what I do on a normal everyday basis with my makeup. So I don't have any makeup on yet. Usually I do have makeup on in my intros, so let me know if you like that better, seeing the final look. Anyway, let's hop into today's look. I'm going to go in with like half a pump of the Thrive and about half a pump of the Pacifica CC Cream, like so. And then I'm going to mix these on the back of my hand. I'm going to kind of dot a couple areas of the face where I want more coverage. And then I'm going to pick up a damp sponge and I'm just going to start tapping, just kind of in circular motions. So after I've done that quick motion, I just kind of make sure to press everything into the skin. Today I'm going in with the Mineral Fusion Concealer Duo. So there's like a actual concealer shade and then a color correcting shade. So then I'm just going in with concealer right on the corner of the eye and kind of dragging it downward. And then I like to go out here as well. My cat is moving my tripod. I also always go like on the side of the nose and bring it down a little bit, but that really just depends on your eye shape. And then I always put a little bit of concealer on the sides of my nose because they can get really red, and on the bridge of my nose because, as you can see, that's also getting pretty darn red. And then you can put it on any trouble areas you have, but I don't have too many that I want to cover up today. Alright, so on an everyday basis, I do go in with this brush pretty often, at least 50% of the time compared to a sponge. This is the Real Techniques face brush. It's really affordable. I feel like it's dense enough to really blend concealer and buff it into the skin. Blenders and sponges are just the best way to achieve a super natural look, so I'm going to go in with a sponge today. So I use the pointed tip of this, and I am just dotting. Again, not too powerful, especially around the eyes. I go a little bit lighter with the pressure. And then I just squeeze this end together and fit it into the area that I had that concealer. All right, so the concealer is all blended out. Let me get a little bit closer just to show you guys that I still have a few imperfections peeking through, and that's fine. For a natural look, this is what I usually go for. All right, so moving on to bronzer and blush and highlight, I am going to use cream products today to do all of the above, just because I think cream products have the best chance at looking natural because you can really blend them and morph them and melt them into the skin. We are going to be using the Cocokind Chaga Glow Stick. This is what she looks like. This product specifically just kind of creates a nice sheen that is healthy. No one's face is completely matte, so when I go for natural looks, I like to do something a little bit more glowy, but all of that is up to you completely. I usually put a little bit of this for a natural look on my eyes. I'm not going to use any eyeshadow today. I'm just going to be using my face products to create a really, really beautiful eye look. And then I kind of came down with the stick and up just a little bit to kind of chisel out the cheekbones. I'm kind of using this as both like a bronzer and a contour. And then I don't do a lot underneath the chin, but I just go right here and right here. For this guy, you absolutely could use a damp sponge. However, I'm going to use this traditional blush brush. I've been really into using this for blending out bronzer lately because I don't like it as much for blush. For blush, I like more fluffy brushes like this. But with this brush, I just kind of make sweeping motions outward on the face. And then when I get down to the cheekbones, I try to blend up. And same goes for the nose. If you put any on the side of your nose, I go up the nose toward the bridge rather than dragging it down or going like up and down. And then underneath the neck, I do drag it down, create some shadow here. Okay, and then once I've bronzed the face a little bit, I just go in, I use the same brush to just kind of cover more surface area and buff that cream into the eyelid a little bit. I'm gonna go in with a Cocokind May Light highlighter stick. So this is in the same kind of format. These you can get at Target, by the way, but this is just a really nice champagne highlight. For this, I just have different ways of doing this, guys, but you could go in with a damp sponge rather than working it on your finger. I like both methods. You could go in with this and just kind of dab onto the end until you get enough product to dab it on your cheeks. But for a product like this, I'm really comfortable with just dabbing around the face with highlight. So I have a good amount. I really like rubbed and warmed this product up. And then I'm going to dab a couple dots just on the high points. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to dab here. Dab here. I like to go underneath the brow and on the cheekbone, and then I just take a little bit down the bridge of my nose. So I'm actually going to go in with the exact same sponge that we used for concealer, and I'm going to blend this out. When using this sponge technique, you don't want to go too hard with the pressure that you're using, especially because you've already laid products down and you don't want to pick up product by like moving this sponge around on the face. So just make sure that you're using light tapping motions and you're not swiping. So that's just a really nice, more natural glow. I can sometimes put highlight up here too, like in this C shape. Sometimes I like to have this highlight go all the way up here, but for today's look, I'm not going to do that. Last step in the face products is blush, and I'm going to go in to this Honest Beauty cream blush. This is in the shade Peony Pink. Try to pick something that is close enough to like a believable flush for you. For the cream blush, I'm going to just use a rounded part of my sponge. So I'm basically using the side of a sponge, and I just rotated in the pan once, and then I just dot, and I don't go too heavy, and I do this on the other side too. So I kind of rotate back and forth between the sides until most of the product is distributed. So since I got so much on the sponge, I want to make sure that it's evenly distributed. I'm not putting all of this on one side of my face. And then I'm also going to pinch this and kind of tap this onto the eye. And you do not have to be precise because you really can't be with the sponge. I am just kind of tapping in this outward area, blending in, and then I'm going to do this on the other eye. If you don't feel comfortable starting off with this much product, that's totally fine. Use the same technique with going in with a sponge, but just get less product at first and just slowly build it up. Go back into the pan when you need to. Okay, and then whatever is left on the sponge, I just kind of dot on the tip of my nose. Then I'm going to go back in with the sponge that I used for spreading the BB and CC creams around my face. There isn't much product left on it at all, but I'm just going to kind of use this to tone the entire face back down to what I want it to be. I'm gonna go back in to this blush with my finger and just really build up the pigment on my eye. So I'm dragging the pigment from the inner corner all the way up through the crease, over the lid, and I'm stopping before, like a little bit before the actual corner of my eye on the outside, because over there I just kind of like to tap so that it's a seamless blend out into the skin. All right, and then now I have these very like fresh pink eyes going on that match the rest of my face inherently because I already used these tones with the cream bronzer that I put on here underneath this pink and then this pink. All right, so I'm gonna move on to brows. This is the E.L.F. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. So it's got like a retractable pencil here, and then it's got a spoolie on the other end. So what I do when filling in my brows with a pencil for a natural look is I try to focus most of the product on basically the middle part of the brow. So I don't put a huge amount on the tip to make it super defined, and I also try to leave the inside kind of light and feathery just because that's the look I like. I don't like to chisel them out, and I always start at the root of where the hair is on my brow. I just flick upward. And then what I usually do is draw a straight line up to where the peak of my brow is. And then I just kind of, in like light hair-like strokes again, move downward and then just put the tiniest bit on the corner. All right, so as you can see, this is not a huge difference from this brow. It just looks a little bit more defined. I'm gonna do the same thing on this brow and then I'll be right back. Both brows have pigment in them. I'm just gonna use the spoolie end of this brush to kind of brush over afterward. This does two things. It gets the brows where you want them to be, but it also kind of brushes the pigment that you've put in through all of the brows. Think of this as like a beauty blender for your brows. It basically just softens the entire look and makes it look really effortless. All right, so sometimes I'll go in with a brow gel. I actually pulled one out because I thought I was going to today, but I think I'm gonna leave them alone. I just chose a random mascara from my collection that I haven't used in a while. This is the Inika Long Lash Mascara. I have this in like a mini size. and I'm just going to comb this through my lashes. Alright, so the last part of this entire look is lips. I have a specific lip product that I want to use today, but I want to also show you guys a couple other different options that you could use, because for a really natural, everyday look, there are a couple different ways you can play it. I'm going to start with the one I'm actually going to use today. This is one of my favorite lip products. This is the Mineral Fusion lipstick in the shade Nude. And this is just a My Lips But Better shade, truly. I thought it would go so well with today's eye look, so I'm just gonna apply this really, really fast. So I'm gonna swatch a couple of these for you guys, and I'm gonna start with the shade that I'm wearing right now, just so you kind of have a baseline of what's on my lips. I'm not gonna swatch this, but this is the Pacifica, or not Pacifica, I always say Pacifica, Physicians Formula Organic Wear Lip Treatment. This is just a clear balm. This is what it looks like, and it is really, really great. So you can always just top off a really natural look like this with a clear balm. It looks amazing. Along the same lines, you can top it off with a clear lip gloss. So this is above Nude by Mineral Fusion that I'm wearing. This is the E.L.F. lip lacquer in the shade Bubbles. This has like a little bit, like a couple shimmer particles in there that just really provide some extra light catching, and I really like that, but they also have a completely clear version. Both would be totally acceptable and I think would look amazing with a look like this. Next, you have the option of just a tinted balm. I'm going to use the one from Pacifica here. This is more of like a light natural pink under here. Along the same lines of a lip gloss, you could do like a nude shade of lip gloss. This is one of the mented lip glosses that I really, really have been enjoying. This might be my favorite shade in the bunch, and this is called Mauve Over. So this is Mauve Over. As you can see, it is a little bit pigmented. You can sheer it out, but that is a really, really nice option. And then these last three are a lot more opaque that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go in with the Burt's Bees liquid lipstick in the shade Tidal Taupe. It is definitely more pigmented. So I think that if I had this opaque on my lips, it could still look really, really nice, or you can like dab it into the lips, you know? This is one of the Burt's Bees matte lips. You could use any matte lip. I really like this kind of matte lip because if you choose something really, really nude, it can end up still looking like your lips. Like my lips on a day-to-day basis are not glossy, and so if you really want to go for more of like an editorial, simple, just very raw kind of look, I think going for a matte lip that is still just very close to your natural shade can be really beautiful. It's just a completely different kind of look that I honestly don't go for very often, but I do sometimes use this specific shade. And then last but not least, I have this Rosé All Day lip pencil from Physicians Formula, that last one down here. I really think that sometimes when you're going for a natural look, it can be fun to use a color like this and completely sheer it out, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so this is the color more opaque, and then down here is what I'm talking about. This is the same lip color. I've just sheared it out, and I think when you go for more of an electric lip color and really just kind of blot it into the lips, it can end up looking very, very fresh and almost like bitten, you know? So that is how I achieve a very natural, everyday kind of look. Thank you guys so much for watching through all of my rambling in this video. If there's any other suggestions that you have for videos that you really want to see, then now you know that your dream could come true and I could make that video. So leave your suggestions down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.